Goose, Golden Knight. I know you guys aren't gonna hang your hats on a what if, but safe to say, team played well enough to win the game tonight. There's a lot of positives in the loss.
Yeah, I think we had a really good third period where we pushed them, and unfortunately we let them kind of hang around the first two periods, and just wasn't enough. I think I don't know. It came a little bit. The rush for us came a little too late.
When coach shortens the bench a little bit for the average fan that doesn't necessarily understand that, what does that mean when he's only put maybe 4 out of the 6 defensemen out there? Can you explain that a little bit?
Just looking for a spark, I guess, and I'm sure it varies from night to night who's kind of got it, and that's typically a coach's call. Who he's feeling has the legs, or has the offense to get us back in the game. I think that really fueled us there in the third, and we're very close, but unfortunately not enough.
You guys came in tonight with a 10-game point streak. I guess just looking on paper, fully expected it to extend to 11. These guys came in not only with ugly helmets, but with the worst record in the AHL. What happened tonight? Did they just come with a little extra jump?
I personally think every team's hard to play against, regardless of record in this league, and I can't take anyone lightly. And I think just let them hang around, and any team in this league, like they'll get bounces and they'll put pucks in your net, and I think that was a little bit of the case tonight, and it's just the same thing. Like, you can't take any team lightly in this league.
Yeah, the power play, the Birds were 0 for 4, but didn't feel like it. It felt like you had about 100 shots on that guy across those 4 power plays. Were they just defending that well?
I think if we continue like that, it'll click for us, and it's been something we've been working on. The power play was looking really good. Sometimes it just doesn't go in, but I think if we have that kind of mentality and move the puck that way, they're gonna go in for us. Awesome.
All right, thank you, man.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
we'll start with that. Was that did you get a full explanation on a drive-by, a brush-by, or what
Well,
was
yeah,
the-
I asked him two things here. He said he has full goalie interference on Max's part. And so we don't have video on the bench, and I don't have the ability. It's not showing up on the screen up top, so I kind of got to go with his call. And then Peter, and our video coach, has a goalie interference call there, so pretty tough to argue. He can't, the referee can't waive a goal and then go review it, because in the AHL you can't review goalie interference.
Looking at the big picture and some of the positives overall, you guys played well enough to win this game. 38,
Funny game,
20.
isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. And I know you talk often about the ebbs and flow of a season, and
Yeah.
I know a loss still at the end of the night, 10 straight games with a point. There's a lot of good that still came out of tonight.
Yeah, there's a lot of good. You know, we had a really good start to the game. I think if we score early, it's probably a different result. I think they were just kind of waiting around to see what we were going to do. And then we don't score in a power play early in the game, and they come back and score. Then they get a late one there, and kind of a questionable call too. And then we made 3 turnovers and 3 goals, and it's in our net. So that's one area that we talk about. We talk about a 200-foot game. If you look at the first goal against, we turn over in the neutral zone. Second goal, we turn over at their blue line, and ends up in our net. Things happen for a certain reason. Goose turned one over, but we had a guy not skating back hard through the neutral zone. So it kind of sometimes it's funny how the game treats you when you don't play the right way. And then we started to play the right way halfway through the second, going into the third, and we had a lot of good looks, and we just didn't tie it up.
Individually, I thought personally, Yanni Newman was very noticeable on the ice tonight, shooting the heck out of the puck, speed. Just touch on his game tonight.
He was. I'll be honest with you. I thought he was a little bit lethargic early, and I changed the lines around a little bit, and I thought he was a little bit better in the third period. So he's part of that goal there, driving the net. And but if he's not moving his feet like most players, he's not effective. And I thought he started to move his feet as the game went along.
I'll go with Tim's vein and stay with the positive, and another individual performance. Ben Myers, he's had a super solid year for the Firebirds, and since he's come back from Seattle, he seems like he's been even better. Another great goal tonight. Your assessment of his play since he's come back and the season as a whole for Ben?
If you look at Ben, when new players come to an organization, it probably takes them 15, 20, 25 games where they really feel comfortable being part of the organization, being part of that team, and finding their rhythm. And I think you're really starting to find his rhythm in this game there. So he's obviously a big part of our team, and his goal was a great goal, driving the net, taking it to the net. But at the end of the day, it's just he's a guy that's they're relied on calling up. He went up, came down, and Mitchell Stevens is in the same boat. There's a guy that's probably taken a quarter of the season to kind of fit in. He had 3 goals on the road trip. He got called up and played very well the last 2 games for Seattle. So that's what they're looking for when they bring these new players in.
Though the Birds were over 4 on the power play, still, a lot of good spacing, a lot of good looks. You guys, 38 shots on the night. That goalie, his record would seem to belie his actual talent. He came in with a 1-9 record. Made a lot of good saves on those.
Boy, you're really making my night sound feel really good now, aren't you? Our power play right now, I think we're really struggling to find some rhythm and to find some confidence. And I hate the word confidence, just to find a little bit of some chemistry. And the guys are working at it. It's not like they're not working at it. I think we had a couple posts on the 6-on-4, and we had a couple good looks. I think Henny just missed an empty net at the end there. So it's one of those things where you have a bunch of new guys and you're putting them together. And I think once it starts to click, they'll find a little bit of rhythm and start going in the right direction. But tonight we could have used it. We had some looks throughout the game. We had an early power play, could have changed the whole flow of the game, and it didn't. But that's hockey. You have to live with these certain things. And would we like to score a big 6-on-4 goal? For sure. And it's not like the guys aren't trying.
Coach, what can you take from this game as learning points for these guys, good or bad?
Well, when you watch the video, you can break it back, and you grab individuals, and there's some teams principles in there we can look at. And it's one thing we preach on are turnovers and forcing the other team to go 200 feet. And we can look at 3 of the goals, and 3 of the goals are turnovers that end up in our net. So things happen for a reason, and if they understand, if they try and and stick to the game plan, and they're not always going to make the right play. That's the beauty of the game, right? They make mistakes, we get an opportunity. We make a mistake, they get an opportunity. So at the end of the day, we'll look at the video and break it down, and we got to get ready for Thursday night. Texas is a very good team. They came in here and won in a shootout, and they're a much better team than we saw in Henderson. So we got our hands full on Thursday night. So it's a quick turnaround. Good. Thanks, guys.
Cale, we saw this sometimes last year where it felt like a team, and that's not a team that they seem solid tonight, but not a team that, you know, sports much of a record thus far into the season. But again, we saw this last year where teams came in and they gave the Firebirds their best game. Saw it a lot early in the season last year. Is that kind of the case tonight, where that team played a little bit better than their record would suggest thus far?
Yeah, I'm not too sure, honestly. First time seeing those guys this year. I mean, you look at their roster on paper, they don't really look like they should be where they are in the standings, but I think it's kind of just the nature of playing on this team, like 2 really good seasons to start off for the Firebirds, obviously, and then good atmosphere in here. Teams are going to come in on the road and give us their best effort every night.
Cale, in terms of how you guys were going in the third period, it looked like you could have had 3 or 4 that could have gone in. Can you guys talk about that as a positive coming out of this one?
Yeah, I think we bounced back pretty well after giving up a couple turnover goals and whatnot. Not exactly sure the stats, but I think we had around 20 shots in the third. And you do that every night, you're going to give yourself a good chance to win.
Thanks.
Thank